Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, my topic is that's the remaining. I meant to say that my topic is about the evolution, as we have already defined it and studied different parts of it. Like already बता चुका हूँ कि evolution is a gradual process. It takes millions of years to make uh, any organism to change the structure, change its a phenotype, even to change its genotype. But as we just mentioned that I just mentioned rather that there are certain evidences that makes we people to understand the concept of evolution, and these evidences were we studied like the homologous organisms, like analogous organisms which we had to study now, and the fossils. As I mentioned that what are the homologous organs, as they were the organs which were having the same basic structure, but they were these organs were performing the different functions in different animals, like four arms of man, four arms, I mean say that four limbs of man, four limbs of the birds, even four limbs of frog. They were having the same basic structure, but they were having the different functions in these very living organisms. So was the basic what was the basic thing that homologous organs makes we people to understand? It was like we just saw the different types of organs in the different with the same structure but different functions in the different animals, but it gives us a connecting link between the different organisms. It makes we people to understand that these living organisms, although are different, although they belong to different species, although they belong to different genera, but one thing is that there's a link, there's a connecting link, that these different organisms, like a man, like a frog, like a bat, they have the common ancestor. They have evolved from a common ancestor, means that जब evolution हुआ है तो evolution में इनका जो ancestor है एक ऑर्गेनिज्म से मतलब जब विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम डिफरेंट इवोल्यूशंस हुई है, डिफरेंट टर्म्स में अलग अलग डिफरेंट टर्म्स आई है, तो डिफरेंट लिंक्स से अलग अलग ऑर्गेनिज्म फिर डिवाइड होकर अलग अलग इन्वायरमेंट में अडॉप्ट हो गए. सो दे बिहेव डिफरेंटली, दे अडॉप्ट डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर, दे अडॉप्ट डिफरेंट फिजियोलॉजी. सो बट there is certain evidences these organs, these structures makes we people to understand that there is a concept of evolution, that there is a connecting link between that of the different organisms. This was all about that of the homologous organs, but we'll study today the analogous organs. What are analogous organs? As we study the homo, same, logos, having same structure but different functions. But what are analogous organs? These are organs which have different basic structure but have similar appearance and perform similar functions. So what I'm just telling you that that the analogous organs are those organs, they have different basic structure, they have different basic structure, they have different structure but have similar appearance and सिमिलर फंक्शंस. तो यहाँ हम एक बात ये करते हैं, डिफरेंस लिखते हैं. होमोलॉगस में सेम स्ट्रक्चर था, अलग अलग फंक्शंस थी. यहाँ पे अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर है, सेम फंक्शंस है. तो इफ़ यू वांट टू रिमेंबर द डिफरेंट, दिस एन इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्स में पूछा जाता है आपसे, 5 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, एनालॉग्स, होमोलॉग्स ऑर्गन्स एंड वेस्टिजियल ऑर्गन्स. तो अगर ये आप याद रखिएगा, होमो मीन्स दे हैविंग द सेम स्ट्रक्चर बट डिफरेंट फंक्शंस. एनालॉग्स में याद रखिएगा दे आर द ऑर्गन्स दैट हैव डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर बट दे हैव कॉमन फंक्शंस. Okay, they perform similar and common functions. Like we just saw that these different organs in different groups of animals which seem to be built from different basic structure but appear to be similar in shape and function. तो जैसे हम बात करते हैं कि मैंने आपको अभी यहाँ पे बता दिया है कि डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनिज्म जो जिनका स्ट्रक्चर, ऑर्गन्स का जो स्ट्रक्चर, हम स्ट्रक्चर डिफरेंट है, तो स्ट्रक्चर डिफरेंट होने से लेकिन इनके जो डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स हैं वो एक ही काम करते हैं. जैसे मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ यहाँ पे एनालॉगस ऑर्गन्स की. जैसे हमारे पास एनालॉगस ऑर्गन्स की एग्जांपल है, दैट्स द विंग्स ऑफ birds and wings of insects. Wings of birds and wings of insects. What about the wings of birds and wings of insects? Both of these wings in birds and wings are used, they use it to fly. They use it to fly. ओके दोनों में ये काम करते हैं कि जो बर्ड्स और इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं वो अपने विंग्स को इस्तेमाल करते हैं फ्लाई करने के लिए. ओके बट व्हेन यू जस्ट कम, when you just go through their structure, you will find entirely different structure in case of birds, in case of wings of birds, and in case of wings of insects. So although structure is different but function is common. So अगर आप स्ट्रक्चर के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखेंगे तो स्ट्रक्चर के पर्सपेक्टिव से हम ये देखते हैं तो इनमें कोई इवोल्यूशन है ही नहीं, क्योंकि दोनों के स्ट्रक्चर अलग अलग है. लेकिन अगर आप फंक्शन के लिहाज से देखेंगे, if you just go through the functions of the, well, study that of the functions of the wings in case of birds, and wings functions of the wings in case of insects, though they have an evolutionary relationship, that they have the concept of evolution. Why? Although structure is different, although they are structurally, they find, you just to find the different structure in case of both, in case of wings of both insects and birds, but they have common function, that these organs, they use it, they use bird, insects and birds use these organs to fly. So there is a concept of evolution, although structure is different, but evolutionary relation is that there is a common function, that's the function that makes them, that makes we people to understand that there is an that there's a relationship between that of the birds and that of the insects. Okay, so now there's another concept we just go through, that's called fossils. So what are fossils first? This is again the concept, this again the term we makes we people to understand the topic, which makes we people to understand the evolutionary concept, what we just called as a fossils. What are fossils actually? Listen here, what are fossils? तो आपने 8 से पढ़ा होगा, लोअर क्लास से पढ़ा होगा कि डेड रिमेन्स ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स, उनको हम फॉसिल्स कहते हैं. द डेड रिमेन्स ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स आर टू बी कॉल्ड एज फॉसिल्स. या हम इसको ये भी डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, द रिमेन्स ऑफ डेड एनिमल्स आर प्लांट्स दैट लिव्ड इन पास्ट आर नोन एज फॉसिल्स. सो दीज आर एनिमल्स एंड बर्ड्स that were in the past due to certain environmental changes. They do not survive in the prevailing conditions or the prevailing environment. So with the passage of time, they became extinct. They became, with the passage of time, first they became endangered, then continuously due to prevailing environmental conditions they became extinct, and finally are the fossils now. So what are fossils? They are dead remains of plants and animals that lived in past are to be called as fossils. Okay, fossils. I will give a common example of the fossil, that is, it's the Archaeopteryx. Okay, Archaeopteryx. It's actually the bird. It's actually the bird, Archaeopteryx. But this Archaeopteryx, it looks like a bird, but have many features which are found in birds and reptiles. Okay, it looks like a bird. It looks like a bird, but it's having the feature that is present in both in birds as well as in reptiles. Like, it has feathers like that of birds, but teeth and tail like that of the reptiles. So do you think this is the connecting link between the reptiles and the birds? Do you think there is an evolutionary, this makes we people, this fossil example like of Archaeopteryx makes we people to understand that there is a connecting link between the bird and the animal? Why? Bird and that of the reptiles. Why? Because you just find in a single bird, that's Archaeopteryx, has a feathers like that of the bird, but it's having the teeth and tail that resembles with that of the reptiles, So this is a concept. So it provides the connecting link, makes we people to understand the evolutionary concepts, makes we people to understand the relationship between the reptiles and birds. Okay, that evolution has take place that the gradual change has take place, that it makes we people to understand that the birds have evolved from the reptiles. Okay, like I just mentioned, that it provides a connecting link between the birds and reptiles. Okay, thus we know that evolutionary relationship between the, thus makes we people, okay, thus it makes we people to understand, it makes we people to understand, or makes we people to know that there is an evolutionary concept, an evolutionary relationship between that of the birds and reptiles. Hence it suggested we people that evolution has take place, that the birds has evolved from the reptiles, that birds they have evolved from the reptiles. Archaeopteryx is a concept, or it is an concept, an example, that is a fossil, is no more present, but it makes we people to understand the evolutionary concept, the relationship between the different types of organisms. What evolution makes we people to understand that there is a gradual change, and this gradual change evolves many organisms. It creates many organisms from a common animal. Then due to the evolution, these different organisms they develop, they develop in their respective ways, they develop in their respective branches, and accordingly they develop, they adopt the different features, and they with the passage of time their genetic makeup, their morphology, their anatomy changes. So the anatomy, when the genetic makeup of the two organisms do not match, we just call they belong to two different species. Okay, and this species shows certain characteristics. Okay, show some of the common features. These common features makes we people to understand that these two organisms have certain links between them. They have certain common features, they have certain common features that makes we people to understand that there is a link, or there is a relationship, or there's a relationship between these two organisms, or we can say that this makes we people to understand that these organisms have evolved from a common ancestor. Like I just give the examples of this Archaeopteryx. Like it provides a connecting link between that of the bird and animal. Why? Because it's having the feathers like that of the bird, and teeth and tail like that of the reptile. So it makes we people to understand that there is an evolutionary concept. Thus it makes we people to know that evolutionary relationship has, there's a evolutionary relationship between the birds and the reptiles. Okay, not only this, it makes we people also understand that birds has evolved from, they have evolved, it's like the term evolved, they have evolved from reptiles. Okay, it's evolved, evolved, they have evolved from reptiles. So makes we people to understand that these birds have evolved from reptiles. So dear students, this is what evolution makes we people to understand. एवोल्यूशन हमें यही समझाता है कि कॉन्सेप्ट ग्रेजुअल चेंज हुई है ऑर्गेनिजम्स में। ग्रेजुअल चेंज यही है कि एक इंसिस्टर है, एक कम्प्लेक्स, जैसे डार्विन की थ्योरी अपने डार्विन के इन फ्यूचर में जो कॉमिंग लेक्चर्स में मैं डार्विन के कॉन्सेप्ट्स पढ़ाऊंगा, वहाँ पे उसकी जो टर्मिनोलॉजी उसे लिंक्स कहते हैं, ट्री, एवोल्यूशनरी ट्री मैं समझाऊंगा कि बेसिक ऑर्गेनिज्म से कैसे डेवलप होती हैं, डिफरेंट ब्रांच निकल आ जाते हैं, और इन्हीं ब्रांचेस से फिर नए ऑर्गेनिज्म क्रिएट किए जाते हैं ड्यू टू द टाइम, एंड दे डेवलप इन देयर respective ways, they develop in their respective styles, their anatomy change, their morphology change, their genetic makeup changes. So this is the concept of evolution, that gradual change in organism has evolved the many species, many species. So मैंने actually analogues, homologues और fossils इसीलिए आपको पढ़ा है क्योंकि मैं आपको समझाना चाहता था कि links या एक ऑर्गेनिज्म में जब आप या डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनिजम्स में डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स आप देखोगे कॉमन, जो कॉमन होंगे, या डिफरेंट फंक्शन जो देखोगे कॉमन होंगे, इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द एवोल्यूशन, इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द एवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप, इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ देयर इंसेस्टर रिलेशनशिप दैट दे हैव evolved from a common ancestor. There is a link between that of the certain organisms. Okay, so dear students, in the coming lecture आई विल जस्ट गो थ्रू द स्पेस स्टेशन. तो वहाँ पे आप अच्छी तरह से you will get over there, I will make you understand over there. And space station is actually the creation of new species from the already existing one. तो वहाँ पे एक कॉन्सेप्ट आपको एवोल्यूशन का थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट समझ आएगा कि कैसे ड्यू टू प्रिवेलिंग इन्वायरमेंटल कंडीशंस, ओके, और ड्यू टू द जियोग्राफिकल आइसोलेशन और ड्यू टू द रिप्रोडक्टिव आइसोलेशन, कैसे एक स्पेशीज क्रिएट की जाती है, कैसे नए ऑर्गेनिजम्स क्रिएट किए जाते हैं एक रिप्रोडक्टिव आइसोलेशन के द्वारा या जियोग्राफिकल आइसोलेशन के द्वारा. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट दैट ऑफ द एवोल्यूशन एंड द एविडेंसेस लाइक दैट होमोलॉग्स, एनालॉग्स एंड फॉसिल्स. और ये 3 आपको एग्जाम्स में पूछे जाते हैं. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस, इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स, 5 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं आपसे एग्जाम्स के. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय एनालॉग्स ऑर्गेनिज, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय होमोलॉग्स ऑर्गेनिज, even though what are vestigial and that of the fossils. Okay dear students, thank you and best of luck.